sun, the fields are alive. Cheering crowds and the teams collide. In these moments, we stand tall and free. First pride runs deep in me. With every touchdown, we rise and we cheer. Unity and spirit, the heart of the year. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zone to go, football and cheers make our spirits roll. Girls in the game, they're fierce and bright. Flag in hand, they give it their might. From every town they bring their dreams. On this field of gold, nothing's as it seems. Together we shine, together we play. In Florida's heart, we own this day. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zones go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. So here's to the game, we'll rise and stand. In Florida's field, we're a united band.
All right, and good evening to everybody. It is time for the Central Florida edition of the Blitz as we come to you live here on this fine Wednesday of September 3rd, 2025. I'm Josh Wilson. That's Christopher Like on the other side there. Good evening, Chris. To you.
Good evening to you, Josh.
Oh, boy. As we did last night, we got 4 more shows here for you tonight, starting with this one, the Central Florida edition of the Blitz. And coming up, our interview tonight will be the one and only Jerrime Bell, the head coach at Mainland. And as we know, we talked about it last night, and we'll talk about more about it with Coach Bell here, is the big win over Cocoa. And good evening to you, Mark Cannon, and good evening to Noli. Noli has showed up for a second night in the row. Hey, we got a record here.
You know what, Josh?
Yeah. Tonight is brought to you by the letter M. Well, that's Mainland. Yeah. Is this Sesame Street? Oh, my goodness. Oh.
You'll see why I said that. You'll understand why I said that later on.
We'll figure it out, but indeed, we'll talk about it here. And Coach Bell, also known to many as Coach Squatty, we will definitely have him on. Good evening to you, Emery. We're glad to see you on here on the show as well. All right, let's get right into it with the Blitz Lines here. And boy, we're looking back on last week's games here in Central Florida, and Ocoee off to a hot and 2-0 start. Olympia. Oh, this is a little uncharacteristic of Olympia, off to 0-2, and I think I got more questions about Olympia than I do Ocoee right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Ocoee really showed up in that game. I mean, really took it to the woodshed on Olympia.
Yeah, no, absolutely. 30-16 here, Chris. And looking at our notes and stats here, the Knights' balanced ground game attacked 199 total rushing yards. Pretty daggone solid when you can balance it out between several guys. Not to say that Olympia didn't have any success in the especially in the air department. Noble Davis 14-30, 225 and a touchdown. But when you get minus 15 yard limited 15 yards rushing on 7 carries, that'll do you in.
Oh yeah, and sometimes you just have to run the ball in order to win the game. So and then that was ultimately their downfall.
Oh, absolutely. And with everything said on that, and as we roll along here, looking at this, Berkeley, South Carolina, 52, Winter Park, 45. But yes, Mark Cannon, we're dressed in black tonight. Both of us.
Yeah.
So Winter Park 0-2 on the season. The Wildcats they battled with Berkeley, and you gotta get hats out to the Wildcats here for battling against Eric Lodge's program up there in South Carolina, the former Sanford Seminole head coach. And boy, I got to tell you what, I mean, the Wildcats, looking at it, Winter Park had built some momentum and thing, but Berkeley rallied in the second half. So Winter Park. The problem is Winter Park can start the game, but they can't seem to finish the game here in this situation. And I hope that's not a trend that's going to continue this year, where they get a big lead and all of a sudden they let the other team come back. Because had they been able to figure out what they did successfully in the first half, they could have won this game in South Carolina very easily.
Yeah, and Berkeley, one of the top programs in South Carolina, and it's probably a good showing for Winter Park. And you got to take the positive out of this one. Winter Park really outperformed what I expected them to do.
No, absolutely. I think they outperformed what I expected them to do. But end of the day, our Winter Park's offense generated substantial yardage by the balanced attack that accumulated 423 yards, with the Wildcats falling by 7, and that's a disappointing road defeat there for Winter Park. But end of the day, DeLand 56, New Smyrna Beach 21. New Smyrna Beach sent back down State Road 44 with the L.
Yeah, DeLand really doing DeLand things. And New Smyrna Beach, they had that opening week win, but it was really a lopsided win for DeLand in this one.
Tahim Moore, I bet the top talented prospect out of DeLand, 78 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, and the DeLand Rick Darlington's squad is looking like an well-oiled machine here.
Yeah, but I think it's Gardner Norman.
Yes.
Yeah, 6 of 9 passes for 130 yards and 1 touchdown, adding another 21 yards on the ground. Really solidified that offensive line and offensive attack. Accumulated like 500 plus yardage.
Oh, no, absolutely. And, of course, how about this for DeLand here, Chris? 426 total rushing yards. That is a signature classic Rick Darlington single wing offense.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get any better than that, where it's just, hey, Rick Darlington has just made that as successful, running that single wing, that wing T kind of playbook, where you're not really throwing the ball a lot. You're running that ball. You're pounding ground, basically, and that's what the Bulldogs are doing here, off to a hot 2-0 start after getting that week 1 win over Madison County in a 21-20 victory. So, they got another good dandy coming up this week against Merritt Island, and we'll talk about that game in the Pick 6 here for tonight. And hopefully we'll be here and seeing Coach Jerrime Bell jump on here pretty soon here, but send him everything, so he should be good to go. Hopefully he'll be still on board with us. He said he was good with us, but let's go down to this one. How about this? Spruce Creek. All right, yep, I took an L on the picks for that. I think all of us took an L on the picks on that one. Avon of Ohio, one of the defending state champs from Ohio. Spruce Creek 25, Avon, Ohio at 22. What a performance there by Spruce Creek to get that to pull off the upset.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that Spruce Creek took it to them, but I wasn't. I think I said last week that Spruce Creek did have a chance to win this thing too, and they came up with that win. So. Congratulations to them.
No, absolutely. Andy Price's crew got off to that one. No, we didn't have any full stat lines when we've got things prepared here, but hopefully soon Spruce Creek. I gotta call out something here. This has been bothering me a little bit, and I think I should just go ahead and do it. some teams are just not getting their stats in the max preps. You've got to get your stats in the max preps. If you want your kids getting recognition, you've got to get your stats in max preps. That's my soapbox for the last 10 seconds. All right.
Yeah, and I struggled all weekend looking for stats in max preps, and it's a tedious task.
It's probably one of the more thankless tasks that we can do around here is looking for stats at the end of the day. Anyways, let's roll along here. Edgewater 42, NFL Academy out of the United Kingdom 7. And yes, indeed, the Edgewater Eagles totally dominated NFL Academy. By the way, NFL Academy had just beat the Hun School out of New Jersey in week 1. So Edgewater State win is a big statement right there saying, hey, don't come into Florida and expecting a win here.
Yeah, Edgewater, a well-oiled machine, and this really wasn't a surprise. But I was surprised there was a lot. The margin was a lot more than it was.
No, absolutely, and this won't be the last time we hear from the NFL Academy this year. I believe I believe at some point I think they're going up against ING, but they're also going up St. Thomas Aquinas midway point in the season. So, and Emery Smith says agree 100%. The coaches need to do a better job updating max preps. There's a lot of incomplete message. This is bad right now. So. But Patrick Browning off to a 2-0 start as the new head coach at Edgewater, picking up where Cam Duke left off at. Lake Mary 17, Osceola 12, a battle of two Florida Power 25 teams, and Lake Mary gets out of Kissimmee with the win. And Noah Grubbs 11 of 15 for 108 yards and a touchdown while adding 4 rushing yards. And sometimes the ground game can pay off for you and win you games, and sometimes it doesn't. And this one did not do that for Osceola.
Yeah, Lake Mary playing some of the best teams in the state, and it's going to continue like this. And I think Lake Mary, they're a well-oiled machine from coming off of last year and looking to save off that disappointing performance in the state championship game left.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And with that said, let's before we wrap up this here in the Blitz Lines and get Coach Jerrime Bell, better known as Coach Squatty from the Mainland Buccaneers, the Mainland High School there in Daytona Beach, we are going to recognize our first player of the week for week number 1 from Central Florida, running back TJ McCormick from Mount Dora Christian. And how about this? 224 yards, 4 touchdowns on 9 carries, and a 56-35 win over Lake Highland Prep. Congratulations to TJ, our first Blitz Central Florida Player of the Week of the 2025 season. We'll have all our new polls up. I promised that for last shows we were getting them up to date, but it's just a lot going on here and a lot of data to try to go through and compile. And but we'll get all those polls up here, and we still got rankings to get up too. The rankings are ready. It's just getting everything sorted and organized up on the website. So forgive me, and we got the shows here, and I don't want to push back the shows just to get content up. We'll get the content up after the shows. If that's what we have to do here. But Chris, wow, congratulations to TJ for him what his week 1 performance.
Yeah, Mount Dora Christian, TJ McCormick. Well, he is one of the better running backs out in Central Florida. A lot of people don't know him because he played in a small school. So
yeah, no, absolutely. We're about not just the big schools, we're about the small schools. All right, we got to take a 2-minute timeout here on the Central Florida edition of the Blitz, and then when we come back, we'll have head coach Jerrime Bell, better known as Coach Squatty, from the Mainland Buccaneers. We'll be right back right after this.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
Touchdown! Touchdown!
Juggled and caught!
I've been thinking about this for a long time. I thought, if that's out there, I want to make sure I see it and I get involved in it, because to me, this was music to my ears. I was blown away. When you look at today's kid, the millennium kid, they learn by being able to see it. If I can see it, there's a great chance that I can do it. The First Down Playbook is a tool that can essentially change the way we teach the game.
All right, welcome back here to the Central Florida edition of the Blitz here. And as we roll into our interview part, I am so excited to have this coach on after what they did Friday night at Cocoa. It's no better coach to interview here than Coach Jerrime. Coach Squatty Jerrime Bell. I'm just having fun with this. Coach, let me see. Make sure I don't hear you. Make sure your microphone. Make sure on your end we got you muted. If your microphone. If not, we'll what we'll do here. See if we got you here. Yeah, I can't hear. Coach, I'm going to send you my phone number. Just sit there. Are you using your cell phone or are you using computer? Computer. Hold on 1 second. This sometimes happens where the audio sometimes doesn't want to work here. So let's see if we can figure this out here. What's going on here, Coach? Let me get you real quick here. If you're using your computer and you got your cell phone nearby, just give me a call. I'll send it to you through Twitter here. Just call me and we'll do the audio that way. Just leave the camera on if we can do it that way. Oh, it's barely. I think I can barely hear him. Hold on a second. Let me see what's going on here. See if we can't move something here. Coach, can you hear us? Yeah, I can barely hear. I can't even hear you, Coach. Yeah. Are you using your cell phone or are you using your computer? Nod once for phone or nod twice for computer. Yeah, okay, computer. So call me. Get your cell phone out and call me. I've sent you my phone number. Or sent you my phone number. You can give me a call. All right. Let's do that real quick here. Hold on 1 second. I think let me go ahead and connect it here on the thing. Give me 1 second here. Just give me 1 second. I got to connect it up here. It's not wanting to connect here. Hold on 1 second. Up. That's why I had turned on the Bluetooth.
What is your coming?
It's. I turned the Bluetooth off this morning and I forgot to turn it back on. So give me 1 second here. So let me go ahead and get it connected here, and we'll hopefully have it here in just a moment. Hopefully it'll. All right, Coach. Can you hear us?
All right, Coach. I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear us good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, good. We got Coach on the audio now on the phone side. So, Coach, congratulations on that 19-14 victory there against. I might as well turn the audio down on the computer side. Just turn the audio down.
On the computer, I am about to right now.
All right. There we go. All right.
I got you.
All right, good. And, Coach, again, congratulations on that 19-14 victory there at Cocoa. And I know y'all had a rare week one bye. You know, you were supposed to play University. That game got kind of wiped off the map. Didn't get a reschedule on that game here of a different game. But so y'all took the advantage to rest up and everything. But just talk about getting these guys ready to go up against the 3-time 2A champs there and just the game preparation to be able to go up against them and come away with that big victory.
Well, when you get manhandled like you did a year ago against Cocoa, it's easily to motivate those guys. Like, they've been talking about that. Basically, they wanted to get back since last year. That's not who Mainland Bucks are, has ever been really, to get manhandled like that on the field. But they had a bad taste in their mouth, and you can see it all week in practice. You can see it all fall camp. Like, they knew that if we don't have university, their first true chance at blood would be Cocoa. And I thought they came out firing on all cylinders. Both sides of the ball played fast, played physical. And you seen the execution. It was 19-0 at one point of the game, and I think like we shot ourselves in the foot a couple times second half, but it really should have been even bigger score than that.
Oh wow! I mean, that's pretty impressive, and for your guys here, as we look at it, I mean, what did you do this summer to kind of prepare, with everything? I know last year, even though y'all won the district, it wasn't the best of the best seasons, and with 2024, I mean, especially, with everything that coming off the 2023 season where your cousin won the state championship before going off to Camden County. I mean, how did you prepare them this summer, getting ready for this, especially, y'all got some tough games coming up here, that Coco's not the only tough one. You've got more coming up.
Oh, yeah. Well, when I took over last year, I took over like a few weeks before spring ball. So it never really truly felt like my group. So this offseason, I made sure that I put my thumbprint on it. We did something that I don't think we've done at Mainland before, which is OTAs during the offseason. We called it Madness. But we had like 70, 80 kids after school. No matter what sport they were in, they were there. They were training. Everyone had that hunger to get last year. Starting off 1-5 in Mainland High School is not the standard. We just want to get back to the standard. We ran, we lifted. They worked their butt off. We did the 707 30 successful there, but none of that really mattered. They were ready to get on the field. And another thing that we did different during the offseason was we had to put them, down south to play some big time opponents. Our spring opponents was Miami South Red semifinal team and Delray Atlantic semifinal team. Like, we're not around here trying to play any old body. We want to compete against the best. And so we took them down there too. We came up short. We didn't have a kicker. I think we had a kicker both of those games to win. So our kids performed well against some high-level talent, and then they grew the confidence from there. We're still a very young group, but we're very young and very talented.
You look back at the game against Cocoa, you had two guys in the backfield, Braylon Simmons and Sebastian Johnson. Talk about those two and what they bring to the program, especially what they did against Cocoa.
Well, Sebastian is our leader. Sebastian Johnson and our offensive line, Chevin Davis, they make our offense go. They are the heart and soul of our offense. So seeing Sebastian in a big game like that, we know how talented Sebastian is. Our program, our community know how talented Sebastian is. I think it's eager to show like the state that I can be a big time quarterback too. I played behind DJ Murray the state championship year. I had a decent year last year, but I put in all the work in the off season, and he just wanted to come out and show it. Like, that kid is the leader. He makes our checks on the field. He's actually an extension of our offense coordinator. If he don't see it the way it should be, he's going to make the check at the line of scrimmage, and he has full control of that. And Braylon Simmons getting a kid like that talented in. Everyone say he's the FPC transfer. I like to say he's the Daytona kid that came home. He grew up he's back playing with all the friends he grew up playing with. The kid he's a football player. He's a big time 3-star wide receiver. He's playing running back for us now. He ran his butt off. Probably left a couple of big runs out there from holding penalties. We should have been closer to 200 yards instead of 130 yards. But when you have those type of weapons along with our plethora of receivers, we're literally 9 deep at receivers. One of them, kid, that new face on the team, Caden Flores, had a 40-yard touchdown to make us go up 19-0. And we're so talented outside the ball, and they work their butt off. They compete against the best defense in the state every day.
No, wow, absolutely. And Coach, let's do a little reminiscing, because you have been part of this program not as just a coach but as a player. I mean, just talk about being able to step back to this program and be able to lead this program where you were your cousin. Y'all were part of that state title team in 2003.
Yeah, well, that was actually, I was gone then, but those are my young pups that grew up and do it. No, my last football season was 2001. I got 2 years.
Get out of here, man.
Yeah, no. But all those guys are my former teammates. So when they all them got rings on, and all I walk around with is my wedding ring, which is I'm perfectly fine with that. That's the best ring I can get. But coming back to Mainland High School, man, on my wall, you can't see it. I have my leadership award that I earned my senior year, and it has a bunch of our leaders like a Victor Campbell and our old coach Scott Wilson, Travis Rowland. All those names are on these awards that you look around the office and you see. So coming back, you walk into the tradition. Every day I walk on campus, it's back to like I'm back to being a high school kid, and I got to protect the program. Now I'm really in charge of the program. So just coming back at Mainland is a great feeling. It's something that I never thought would happen, especially when I really grew up in this coaching game down in Port St. Lucie under Irvin Jones, who was a great mentor to me at Treasure Coast. We got to turn around there. I never thought I'd be back home, but being back home, man, when the opportunity presented itself, yeah, I had to jump on it. I'm back. You can see the smile on my face.
You hear the Mainland High School. I see that smile crack up every time, and which is great. I love that kind of passion out of a coach because honestly, if you're not passionate about where you're at, especially if it's your alma mater, why are you there? And that's why I always ask a coach, why are you there?
Exactly.
No, so let's look ahead. Let's look ahead real quick to obviously Flagler Palm Coast week is this week. Obviously, you got that's always been a battle between y'all and the Bulldogs. But Spruce Creek week after that, going up to Coffee County, playing a former Florida coach and Mike Coe and his program there. And then DeLand. Yeah, I mean, really looking at this schedule, there is quality competitive games. That Palm Bay Heritage is another one. Bellevue's starting to show some improvements there. So they may be, by the time y'all get to them, they may be wanting to fight a little bit. So I mean, talk about what the remaining of the season looks like, just because it's going to be fun competitive football for y'all.
Well, like I said, here at Mainland High School, we're not allowed to play just cupcake. So, you make those phone calls in off season, see who wants to play. You're going to get the best of the state. So, we have FPC this week. They are a bigger school in the area. We may have the bigger name, but they're the largest school. Same as Spruce Creek. But we can't overlook anybody. Flagler Palm Coast beat us last year. Yeah. They beat us in the monsoon. They came out and executed, and we didn't. So our kids aren't going to overlook Flagler Palm Coast. They still have that same bad taste they had with Cocoa. And then the same thing with Spruce Creek. It was 7-0 in the spring game and a half, but you would have thought that was the Super Bowl for both teams. So our kids have that get back mentality. They want to redeem themselves. They want to go from 0-5 to 5-0. So it's easy to keep them focused when they have those losses and those bad taste. But like you said, we have another local opponent down the line in DeLand High School, coached by the legend Rick Darlington, and they're going to run that single wing football. It's going to be smash mouth. And if you don't come ready to play, that offense with those backs, Marcellus Carey and Tage Moore, and they got the young quarterback there with them, and they got like 4 or 5 other backs that all can do it, and a massive offensive line. It's the reason why they're averaging 45, 50 points a game, especially with that guy calling plays. So we won't overlook them. The problem, the most important thing, we're not even looking at them right now. Only thing that matters right now is FPC. And then we'll worry about the other school next week, and then the other school after that in 2 weeks, and then they'll couple down the road. But it only matter about FPC right now.
No, real quick, question from our fan, Mark Cannon. Do you encourage your players to play other sports? And I have a feeling you're going to say yes.
Oh, absolutely. I get the specialization now, because the more you can train at one sport, the better you can become at that sport. But at Mainland High School, I was a multi-sport athlete. I was a baseball player. A lot of people don't know that about me. I played baseball as well, so I'd be hypocritical to tell a kid that they can't do something that I did in high school. So we have a great track program ran by the godfather of Mainland football, Terry Anthony. He's been around the program for 29, 30 years. He's our track coach. He does a great job with that. We have one of the best basketball programs in the entire nation. Not just the state, the athletes we produce, Vince Carter.
Oh yeah, Vince Carter.
We have some kids right now all across the AAU circuit in the basketball world. And we have football players that play on that basketball team. So to me, you can't tell kids you got to play one sport. I'm not going to do that. LeBron James played football. It was all the state. Who thought if he'd have just stuck to football, he wouldn't be LeBron James. It's hypocritical to tell the kid not to do something that you was allowed to do in high school.
Absolutely. And Chris, any quick final thoughts here before as we wrap this up here with Coach?
Coach, you look at the season schedule, and you got teams like the Land in there and Seabreeze to close out the season. How do you keep your team motivated throughout the year with the schedule and knowing that you're the heavy favorite to win that district anyway? How do you keep that team motivated each and every week?
At Mainland High School is always state championship or bust. They know what we preach. So stay motivated. We want to be the best. We never want to lose. Like, if losing is like a dark cloud that hangs over you for at least a week, if not a full year. So they know what it is. Like, we're not going to overlook teams just because they might not have the record that we have going into the game. Our goal is to be practicing on Thanksgiving. If you practice on Thanksgiving, I'm pretty sure that means you at least to the third round, if not semifinals. And after that is a crapshoot. Like, the healthiest team, the most focused team, will play in the state championship. And that's always our goal at Mainland High School, state championship or bust.
No, absolutely. Well, Coach, I appreciate you taking your time, and sorry about the audio problems, but we figured it out. We got you on, and I appreciate that you being able to talk some Mainland football, and best of luck the rest of the season. We'll be keeping big eyes on y'all.
I appreciate you. GBWT. The Get Back World Tour continues.
There you go. All right. Appreciate it, Coach. Have a good one.
I appreciate y'all.
All right. All right. That was Coach Jerrime Bell joining us here from the Mainland Buccaneers. And Chris, we got to take a quick break here, but wow, Mainland football, they just really, really going.
Yeah, fantastic interview with Coach Squatty there. Great tradition at Mainland, and looking forward to seeing what they do at the end of the year.
All right, we'll be right back right after this quick break here on FloydHSFootball.com on the Central Florida edition of The Blitz.
High school sports fans, follow your team live with a free ScoreStream mobile app. Download ScoreStream to get real-time scores, photos, and awesome video. Plus, follow your favorite teams and friends. Get real-time high school sports from ScoreStream.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
Juggled and caught.
All right, welcome back here to the Central Florida edition of the Blitz here, and we're going to get into this quickly. Hi there, Nolly. By the way, knocked 3 times. How about Tony Orlando and Don, Mark Cannon? Yes. I knew where you were going with that one, Mark. That tells that I'm old school in terms of my music. You can check my iTunes for that one. All right. We got to get right into it here with everything for our pick 6 here. All right, we got to roll right into it. It is 6 games, 6 picks, 1 winner. It's time to make our picks for week number 3 here, Chris, and we're going to roll through this pretty quickly here. We'll talk about Mandarin in the next show here. If you know, you know. So let's roll into it. First game up on the docket is Matanzas at Deltona, Chris, and Boy, Matanzas had a big win last week. Daytona off to a 2-0 start, and I like the forecast on this one. It's going to be a battle. Daytona favored by 3. Win probability, Daytona 62%, Matanzas 38%. Chris, where are we going with this one?
Oh, yeah, very good big battle here. But I think it's going to be a very close game. Matanzas is a program on the rise. But Daytona at home can't deny them.
Man, this is my thing here about Daytona is that I like what they're doing. I love what they're doing, but I'm going to go opposite. I'm taking Matanzas. I'm taking the Pirates after what they did last week. I'm rolling dice here. Give me Matanzas. All right, next one up. I think there's going to be a lot of points in this one. Merritt Island at the Land. The Mustangs could have been 2-0. Just think about this. But the Land, a lot of points last week. Merritt Island, a lot of points last week. What is the forecast calling for? DeLand, 14 over Merritt Island. DeLand, 90% chance to win this game. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
I think you take the over in this game because there will be a lot of points, and DeLand is going to win.
I'm going to go with DeLand, the Spec Mountain. That's where I'm going. I'm going with that one. And it's my pick. By the way, Reno's picks are basically following the same method as what he told me to do last night. Daytona and then DeLand. Let's roll with this here. The next one, how about the Soul Bowl in Orange County? Evans 1-1 at Jones 2-0. That will be a 10 o'clock kickoff on Saturday morning at Jones. Well, the computer says Jones 28 over Evans. I think Evans is a little bit better team. I think they're going to try to push Jones around for around at least 2, maybe 3 quarters before Jones pulls away. That's my thought, but I still like Jones in this. Chris, what are you thinking here?
Nothing like eggs and bacon football. Breakfast football. Give me Jones, and it's not going to be close.
No, absolutely. And I'm going to take Jones, and I know Reno would take Jones in this situation here. All right, so we are all taking Jones here. Okay, as you saw, I pulled up the next game. It's Titusville 1-1 at West Orange 2-0. All right. 10 p.m. will be hot, but 12 p.m. will be hotter, the game was originally supposed to kick off at 12. So there you go. All right. West Orange is an 11-point favorite over the visiting Terriers. Man, West Orange, 84% chance win probability on this game here.
Yeah, I like what Titusville's doing, but I think West Orange is going to be too much for the Terriers.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. I feel like the Warriors are going to be good, are really ready for this. Thompson will have them ready and set to go, and that's going to be you better stay hydrated in that Florida heat, absolutely. But anyways, West Orange, we're all taking West Orange. It looks like everybody in the chat's going West Orange here so far. They took Jones as well. All right, on to our 5th game. Oviedo 1-1 and a much improved Lake Brantley, who's 2-0. Yes, I know I got criticized by the coach. With the power ranking, the Florida Power Rankings Index was going for a 1-9 record. Well, they're not going for that. They've already doubled their win total, 2-0. And you know what? The computer is really picking up quickly on Lake Brantley's improvement here so far this season, Chris. And what does the forecast call for? Lake Brantley 4 over Oviedo. Lake Brantley a 66% chance to win. I love what Jackson's teacher's doing. I love what the Patriots are doing. I love what Coach Kruzak is doing. I feel like Lake Brantley is in a much better position right now compared to when they were compared to that team last year. Obviously, a bunch of new talent. I'm liking the Patriots here over the Lions.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I think Lake Brantley is on a hot streak. They're going to continue that, and they've got a lot of momentum on their side right now. Oviedo is a great program, but damn, Lake Brantley would have won.
Yeah, I picked Lake Brantley as well. All right, and our final game, the Villages 2-0 at Southlake 2-0. Richard Pettis versus Brad Lord. I have a hard time making a decision here on this one, guys, because you know what? I know both of these coaches very well.
Oh, man, I was struggling with this one too. And I think Southlake, being the game is at home, We'll have the just a really close game, probably down to the last possession. Southlake, I think, could get the victory.
Yes. By the way, I want to point out something to y'all, because y'all saw last night we had a 1-point favorite game between Virgin Catholic and West Boca, and you saw it was a dead heat, 50-50%. You're seeing here Southlake won over the Villages, but Southlake at a 56%, Villages at 44%. It's because it's really looking deeper into the numbers, not just based upon 1-point spread. It's also taking into account looking at the points for, the points against, and to figure out that win probability. So this is a big, big thing here. And honestly, this is hard for me. I like what the Village is doing, but I also like what Southlake's doing. Both teams have been on the rise. Southlake, a defending district champion in 6A6. This was at the Villages. This was up there at Middleton and in the new Villages Charter High School. I take the Villages. I got to take Southlake in this one. And Chris, what did you say here again? You were taking?
I think Southlake's going to win.
Southlake, and and Rena will take Southlake in this situation here. But anyways, we are just about out of time here as we wrap up that pick six. Chris, any final thoughts as we wrap this show up?
Like I said, tonight it's brought to you by the letter M, and you're going to find out even more in the next episode.
Yes. Full disclosure coming up after this, but yeah, we'll talk about that after the break. But anyways, all right, we're gonna wrap up this edition of the Central Florida edition of the Blitz, and we're gonna come back real quick, and we're gonna get going with the Northeast Florida edition of the Blitz, where we'll have Middleburg head coach Ryan Wolf on for the interview. We'll see you back here in just a few minutes here on FloorHSFootball.com and the FloorHSFootball.com social media networks.